This is eNews at 7, live from Johannesburg. I'm Kathy Mutlatlana. Here are your top stories tonight. 5 more Life Esidimeni patients have been found, but the horror stories of their treatment in the facility continue. A warm and gentle spirit, that's how jazz legend Dorothy Masuka was described as she was laid to rest in Johannesburg earlier today. And we kick it off here tonight. The Gauteng Health Department has finally traced the whereabouts of 5 missing Life Esidimeni patients. This now brings the number of psychiatric patients still missing after the tragedy down to 16. Most of the patients were traced to the homes of their relatives. Matviyenko has more.
Now 60 years old, George van der Merwe's favorite pastime is gardening. He's one of over 1,700 patients moved from Life Esidimeni to ill-equipped NGOs across Gauteng. His family says they weren't happy with his deteriorating health and decided to bring him back home in 2016. He tells his niece never to take him back to an institution again.
Yeah. Wat het Wat het met jou gemaakt zo?
The family says he's helpful around the home and they're only grateful they didn't let him stay at the NGO he'd been moved to. The Gauteng Health Department didn't know until recently that its own patients had been staying with relatives all along. And it's all because of bad record keeping.
We've been looking for these patients, but since the project, when the patients were taken out of Life Esidimeni, the records was not well kept and many of the families have moved. We've now gone to Home Affairs and to SASSA in order to find more information of the mental health care users that are still on the list.
The department says most users were found at the new addresses their families had moved to. Others are doing fine at home, while others have since been readmitted to mental health facilities. But for Uncle George, as he is affectionately known in his family, the trauma has left him too afraid to go back, and he vows to stay right here with his family. Matviyenko, Lenasia.
Residents of the Hague area of Delft in Cape Town say they're extremely frustrated. That's because they've been without electricity since moving into their new RDP homes last year. The residents say the experience has dampened the relief and gratitude they felt when they initially moved in. Piladi Situsa has that story for us.
The new homeowners say living in the dark is a nightmare.
How can you give me a house that hasn't got electricity? I find it difficult to go to the toilet in the dark. I nearly fell in the dark. Maybe that's what the city of Cape Town and Eskom wants. Somebody to get killed, get hurt, before they are going to give me my electricity.
Jones, who is a type 2 diabetic, cannot administer his insulin consistently.
When I draw that insulin and I inject it at room temperature, I might as well take that syringe and squirt it in the air.
His 93-year-old neighbor says trying to use gas has been difficult.
I'm alone, so that's why I can't use it alone. That's why it's difficult for everything. Now if I want to cook for myself, I have no chance.
She moved from Blikkiesdorp thinking her life here would be better. In a statement, the city of Cape Town claims residents were aware the homes had no electricity and they'd agreed to move in to avoid land invasions.
I challenge the city of Cape Town to show me black and white where I, Warren Jones, agreed to move in without electricity.
The city says its officials are working closely with Eskom to make sure the area is electrified within the coming week. Piladi Situsa, Cape Town.
Jazz legend Dorothy Masuka has been laid to rest today. A funeral service was held for her at the University of Johannesburg Soweto campus. Masuka died at her home in Johannesburg last weekend, aged 83. The veteran musician had suffered a stroke about a year ago. Some of Masuka's songs were instrumental in the liberation struggle. The icon has been described as a warm and gentle spirit. Senzo Mayiwa's cousin has started a campaign seeking justice for the late soccer star. The former Orlando Pirates goalkeeper was murdered 4 years ago in Vosloorus during an alleged break-in. However, that case remains unresolved despite multiple witnesses being present. Mawande Kwesa has more.
Siyabonga Mia has spent the whole week outside these police headquarters in Durban in a bid to get the attention of Police Minister Bheki Cele.
Njoba ngibona ngimla ngiphethe le banner kaSenzo ingoba sidinga justice kade saqala sihamba ko Vosloorus sifokisa cishe manje sine information eningi ukudlula amaphoyisa mangabe and ingakho manje sengize sakhetha sumndeni savumelana ukuthi angizoma la ngiphathe kanje.
Mia says the family has never been introduced to the investigating officers nor received any updates on the case. Recently, the police minister put his head on the block.
Senzo Mayiwa matter is going to be resolved in not a very distant future. Maybe it's enough.
When? Before Christmas? Before Easter? You hope to have a breakthrough?
Definitely it will be before Christmas. If you talk the Christmas that is oncoming, definitely before.
And we hope that the rest will be made?
Even before the Easters, that matter will have to be resolved and South Africans will be put in a better understanding what's the story.
Despite the minister's comments, the family's faith in the police is in tatters. The Mayiwa family is now pleading with Cele to address them directly to provide them with much-needed answers. Mawande Kwesa, Durban.
Deputy Finance Minister Mondli Gungubele is defending his department. He insists Finance Minister Tito Mbowene's move to file court papers isn't aimed at interfering with the Public Protector's work. Mbowene filed papers on Friday challenging Busisiwe Mkhwebane's findings that Treasury Director General Dondomo Khajane must be disciplined for failing to disclose his speeding fine prior to his appointment.
I'm very careful of getting into the details of this matter. What you have to demonstrate in what our DG did is that he deliberately lied. And I guess the reason the minister wants this thing to be reviewed is for the public protector to demonstrate that our DG deliberately lied. Because there are records where the DG discloses that fact. He might not have disclosed in this instance, but the key principle is that did our DG deliberately lie? I guess, but the minister will speak for himself. I'm very careful about this.
The Democratic Alliance today unveiled their KwaZulu-Natal manifesto at the Royal Showgrounds in Pietermaritzburg. In a packed Premier candidate Zwakele Ngango, along with leader Musi Maimane, outlined an agenda for change in that province. He says he'll work closely with traditional authorities in an attempt to reduce the ANC's votes to below 50% in that province. They called for the elimination of corruption and state capture, the creation of an honest and professional police service, creating a fair access to real jobs, and speeding up service delivery. Maimane promised to ensure that all corrupt ANC politicians are jailed for their wrongdoing.
There are many gifts that come from KZN, but the one gift you should not be proud of is that it's from this province that President Zuma comes from. President Zuma was the MEC for economic development, right, in this province. And then he took 9 years selling off South Africa in partnership with the ANC. Right, I'm here to tell you something. I'm going to make sure President Zuma is prosecuted, but it's not him alone, because the ANC were there. They were marching with him. And I'm going to make sure that Nomvula Mokonyane and all the corrupt politicians who sold us off to VBS, who sold us off to Busasa, they will get 15 years in jail before they end up in parliament. We need change, and we need it now.
This week has been shrouded in controversy surrounding Pastor Alf Lukau's resurrection video. Coming up, we get reaction from some of the other pastors on that video, and we'll also show you the lighter side with people taking to social media, participating in the so-called #Resurrection Challenge. Thanks for staying with us. In the past few years, South Africa has had its fair share of religious leaders who've used unconventional methods of worship and made extraordinary claims. Please note that some viewers may be offended by some of the following visuals and language.
In 2014, Pastor Daniel Lesego made headlines when he told congregants to eat grass because it would bring them closer to God.
Did anyone die when they eat grass? No! Did anyone die when they drink petrol? No! Those who drink or eat, they never lay a charge or complain. Those who did not and were never there, they are complaining.
And then there was Panuel Mguni, dubbed the Snake Pastor. The Soshanguve-based prophet made headlines in 2016 for feeding his followers snakes and rats.
These animals, God made them for us to eat. Amen.
During that same year, Incredible Happenings Ministries Pastor Paseka Mutswaneng, known as Pastor Mboro, was alleged to have claimed he'd been to heaven. But he's since denied the allegations.
The issue I went to heaven. Yeah. I did selfies. I'm teaching that in this church.
Another controversial pastor is the wealthy prophet Shepherd Bushiri. He once sold tickets to a gala dinner in his honor for between 1,000 rand and 25,000 rand. Major One, as he's called by his followers, was recently arrested, along with his wife, on fraud-related charges. His followers believe he's innocent. Last month, Pastor Alf Lukau made headlines when a video of him allegedly resurrecting a man went viral on social media. He's since changed his tune, saying the man had been alive all along.
I think we've reached a stage where we can say religion, especially Christianity, is in a state of crisis in South Africa, and we need urgent answers, and I'm hoping the 6th Parliament will table this as one of its first issues that need tackling.
It remains to be seen whether the 6th Parliament will be able to deal with this thorny issue. That's because some of the controversial pastors are believed to be close to high-profile government officials.
Well, of course, all of those events catching the eye of South Africans. Ever heard of the saying, we laugh even at a funeral? Well, last week's video of Pastor Alf Lukau of Alleluia Ministries supposedly bringing a dead man back to life has had social media in a frenzy. People are creating a series of videos under the #Resurrection Challenge. Let's take a look.
They say in this world nothing is certain except death and taxes. Well, Pastor Alf Lukau can help you escape one of them. This video sent social media on a buzz, and after the resurrection, we all got to witness the man's first meal. That makes him the first man in history to ever eat at his own funeral. Digested by many as bogus, social media decided to give birth to the Resurrection Challenge. Even big names like Casper Nyovest also got in on the day.
All right. He's trying this one now. He's working this one. It's too much. This one.
Well, South Africans certainly know how to have fun. Let's take a look at Newsmaking International headlines now. India is building family bunkers for citizens living along the border with Pakistan. That's in a bid to keep citizens safe amid artillery fire. Government hopes the underground concrete and steel structures will help reduce fear among citizens and prevent them from fleeing the area. Engineers say the construction project began last June when conflict between the two countries escalated. The latest tensions appear to be easing following the release of a captured Indian pilot. And the Speaker of Russia's Parliament, Valentina Matviyenko, says her country will do all it can to prevent U.S. military intervention in Venezuela. She told Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez in Moscow that Russia is concerned that the U.S. will do all it can to find an excuse to cause mayhem in the South American country. The U.S. and dozens of other countries have recognized opposition leader Juan Guaido as Venezuela's legitimate president, but President Nicolas Maduro still controls the military, state institutions and an oil company which provides 90% of the country's export revenue. After the break, your full weather details, and then the who's who of the South African film and television industry gathering last night at Sun City for the 2019 SAFTA Awards. We'll speak to some of the winners.
On Sunday afternoon, we saw widespread thundershowers bringing in lots of rainfall over Limpopo. And on Monday, we'll still see shower and thunderstorm activity over the far eastern part of South Africa. But before that happens, we're expecting morning fog along the northeastern and eastern escarpments, with another sunny and hot day over the central parts. A cold front brings in cooler weather and rainfall in the southwest, with a chance of rain reaching the south coast by Monday evening. Here's a look at your weather forecast in detail across the country, with another sunny and hot day for the Northern Cape, Uppington, Passersburg, Priska and Kimberley all heading into the mid-30s. Cooler weather is forecast, especially over the southwestern part of the Western Cape, where we can also expect rainfall Cape Town and Hermanus at 23, with that rainfall reaching George by Monday evening, but first a high of 26. Hot over the Eastern Cape interior, sunny and warm for Port Alfred and East London at 28, with a few thundershowers spilling over into the far northeastern part of the Eastern Cape. You'll also see isolated thundershowers and showers throughout KwaZulu-Natal with a hot day in store. 33 for Pietermaritzburg, Richards Bay, Ulundi and Vryheid. Partly cloudy and dry over the western part of Mpumalanga, but with thundershowers in the east, Bombela at 32. You'll also see thundershowers into Limpopo, with that sizzling hot weather continuing for Tabazimbi at 37 degrees. Scorching hot weather also continues for northwest, with most highs heading into the mid-30s. Welkom topping 35, Bethlehem and Harrismith at 31, with another dry day throughout the Free State. Hot at the start of the work week for Gauteng, Pretoria at 35 in the afternoon, with Johannesburg and Vereeniging at 33 degrees. On Tuesday, we're expecting thundershowers to move in over Gauteng, with a chance of rain along the Eastern Cape and KZN coastline. Sunny and warm weather is forecast in the west through to Wednesday, with sizzling hot temperatures over the central parts, and we'll see thundershowers from Mahikeng all the way through to Pietermaritzburg. That's all from the Weather Centre. Have a great week.
Well, there were also celebrations in Sun City last night. The who's who of the entertainment industry gathering for the South African Film and TV Awards. Silindelo Masikani caught up with some of the celebrities who walked away with the prizes.
It's been a night to remember here at the Sun City Super Bowl. The star-studded event kicked off with the red carpet with all its glitz and its glam. Fans gathered outside the venue to catch a glimpse of their favorite celebrities. Nominees in 92 categories are dreamers who were picked by over 200 industry experts from across the country. We spoke to some of the night's big winners.
It's like a big tick. Sometimes you do need to know that you are doing good so that you can do even better. So this for me says I must sharpen my skill even more.
It was really a shock to win the same award I won in 2015. You know, it just really makes me feel that South Africans are on their couch watching my comedies and South Africa loves laughing.
I don't know how I'm feeling. It's still very hard. It's so surreal. So that tells you that it's an incredible moment for me, for my life and my career. Lockdown continues to be a fan favorite.
Thank you, man. Blessed. You know, I'm blessed to have the best team in the country.
It's incredible that you're nominated. It's even more incredible when a room full of people applaud when your picture comes on screen. It's even more incredible when you get up and you see people standing in the auditorium because you were called up.
Organizers of the event are promising an even bigger and better show for the 14th edition of the awards. And in keeping with this year's theme, Mzansi stars are urging young, up-and-coming talent to dare to dream. Slindalo Masigan, Sun City in the Northwest.
From me and the rest of the team, it's good night.